Obviously they do have some Premier League experience, but I just don't think they have what it takes this season to stay up.
In options, they've got 5 brilliant strikers, obviously Callum Robinson, Oli McBurney, Lee Mousset, David McGoldrick and Billy Sharp, so they've got loads of options up top.
With obviously Luke Shaw, Lindelof, Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, which I think is a great defence.
Right, so as you've seen from our championship predictions video, we got another one, but this one's going to be the Premier League. So we're just going to get straight into it, starting from the bottom. 20th, I've gone with Brighton because I think they've lost a few key players. They've lost Anthony Knockaert. They haven't really got a brilliant squad. They've got Potter, obviously used to be the old Swansea manager. I think he's a good manager, but I don't think he has what it takes to keep Brighton up, and I don't think he's got a good enough squad. So 20th for me is Brighton.
And then 20th for me, I put Norwich. Obviously a new Premier League promoted side. Oh, Championship promoted side, sorry.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah, obviously they're back in the Prem now. They were down in the Championship for quite a bit. Obviously they do have some Premier League experience, but I just don't think they have what it takes this season to stay up. Made some decent signings, but I feel like this will be a bad season for them. So yeah.
19th, I've gone with Southampton. I think they're always in the relegation battle every year, and I don't think this year they'll have what it takes to survive. They brought in a brilliant striker in Che Adams, who proved himself in the Championship, so that'll be a brilliant signing. But I just don't believe that they have what it takes to stay up. So 19th is Southampton.
Yeah, 19th for me is Southampton as well. I feel like they do have some decent players in their squad, but again, yeah, like you've said, they're always in the relegation battle all the time.
Yeah.
And plus, with all the other teams in it, I doubt they'll have a chance to stay up this season. Obviously, they've been trying to stay up the whole time, which they've done alright actually, to be fair. But yeah, I just don't think they have what it takes to beat all the good teams and even mid-table teams as well. Even though they do have some decent youngsters like Valeri. Also, they brought in Che Adams as well. But yeah, I think they're going down.
18th, I've gone with Newcastle. I don't think they're going to do this well this season. They've got Steve Bruce as manager. None of their fans seem to like having Steve Bruce. I don't think he's a brilliant manager, in my opinion, either. But they have got some good players. I think they still kept on to Joselu and Perez. They've got Keeslin Young. Obviously got Dwight Gale back from West Brom because he's finished his loan. So they've got some brilliant options, but I don't think they'll survive. I think they'll just about go down in 18th.
For me, I put Burnley. I feel like, well, last season they didn't have a great season. I think they just survived. But this season I feel like they haven't really brought in some decent signings at all. Obviously, they still got Sean Dyche as their manager, he's an alright manager, but sometimes he could have like poor games. Yeah, I haven't really seen them make a great signing. Obviously, they've got some decent players like Ben Mee, James Tarkowski, Sam Vokes, players like that. But I just feel like they just won't stay up this year, so that's why I put them 18th.
17th, I've gone with Burnley. Same reasons for you, but I do think they'll just survive. I think they haven't got a brilliant squad. They've got a good manager in Sean Dyche, but I think they just got a little bit more quality than the 3 teams going down, so that's why I've put Burnley 17th.
17th I put Brighton. As you said, they've got Graham Potter, who, in my opinion, I think is a class manager. I think, obviously, he's the first manager in the Swedish league, and obviously he won a few trophies there, so he's obviously a decent manager to have if he's won some trophies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brighton. Obviously, they got the signing of Neil Maupay from Brentford. He was a great striker.
Brilliant signing.
Obviously, they did get rid of Anthony Knockout to Fulham. Another one of their decent players. But obviously, if you want to stay up in the Premier League, you do have to get rid of some players and also buy some in.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brighton, I think they are a very decent team, and I feel like they do have better quality than the other 3 teams. So yeah.
16th I've gone with Norwich, obviously the champions of the championship. I think their initial goals was to just stay up. They've got a good striker in Timo Pukki. They've also got other players like Mario Vrancic, Tim Krul, players like that, brilliant players. So I think that 16th will be good for them in the first season back, because obviously they won't be getting relegated. But yeah, they've got a good manager as well, so 16th for me is Norwich.
16th for me, I put Newcastle. I put them around the 16th spot because I didn't think they were getting relegated, just because I think they've made some decent signings. Obviously, they brought in Joelinton, who's a good striker. They also brought in Maximin, or Saint Maximin, or I can't remember his name, but he was from the French league. Who I think he is a quality player, and I think he'll do well for them. Steve Bruce, as you all know, he's not a great manager at all, really, but I think with the squad that they've currently got, I think they will have a chance to survive. So yeah, that's why I put them 16th.
Oh, Luke, is your thing still recording? Yeah.
Yeah.
15th I've gone with Bournemouth. I think they're a good side, got a good manager with Eddie Howe, obviously brought them all the way from League 2 to the Premier League, and they've got some good players. Callum Wilson, they've got obviously Harry Wilson as well, who's been brought there on loan now. They've got Josh King, good strikers like that, so I think they've definitely got what it takes to stay up, but won't be finishing any higher than mid-table, so they're 15th for me.
15th I put Sheffield United. Obviously a new promoted side. Obviously they bought Ollie McBurney from us, who is a good striker, got 24 goals last year. Yeah, they also brought in Callum Robinson from Preston, a decent winger, and he can play a striker as well. Yeah, I think Sheffield are a good team, and I feel like they will stay up, so yeah.
14th I've got with Sheffield United. I think, as you said, they brought in some brilliant players. Ollie McBurney, Callum Robinson, so that leaves them, and obviously Lee Mousset as well from Bournemouth, so that leaves them with brilliant striking options. They've got 5 brilliant strikers, obviously Callum Robinson, Ollie McBurney, Lee Mousset, David McGoldrick and Billy Sharp, so they've got loads of options up top. They've got obviously Chris Wilder, brilliant manager, and Dean Henderson, brilliant goalkeeper, so 14th for me is Sheffield United.
14th for me, I put Watford. They're usually a mid-table team. Obviously, last year they got into the final of the FA Cup when they lost to Man City 6-0, I think. But yeah, they are. I think they are a typical mid-table team. Obviously, they've brought in a new signing of Danny Welbeck, just recently gone through. So that should be a decent addition to their team. They do have a decent attack. They've got players like Troy Deeney, who's a good skipper. They've got De La Feu, who's a great player. Yeah, so they should be a decent team, but mid-table for me.
13th I've gone with Watford. Obviously, as you said, Danny Welbeck, good striker. They've got Troy Deeney, brilliant players like that. They've lost Ricardo Pereira, I think, but they've still got some brilliant players. And as you said, just a mid-table side, so that's why they finished 13th.
13th for put West Ham, another typical mid-table side. Obviously they got rid of Arnautovic and sold him to the Chinese league. But they've still got Felipe Anderson, who is a great player. They've obviously got their skipper Mark Noble, who's a decent midfielder. They've also got Issa Diop, who was actually a target for United, but they went in for Maguire instead. He was another decent player. But yeah, I think, and obviously they got rid of Adrian to Liverpool as well, which I don't know why Liverpool wanted to sign him, but that's just a typical transfer. But yeah, West Ham mid-table side, so yeah, that's where they came in at 13th for me.
12th I've gone with West Ham. It's the third team in a row that I've gone one higher than you. So yeah, same reasons as you. Obviously lost Arnautovic to the Chinese League, lost Adrian to Liverpool. They're a massive club, but I don't think they have potential to finish any higher, although they do have some brilliant players. But they're a massive club, so they'll have they've got a big stadium. They've also got what's the word? Like they hope to finish higher, high standards. So West Ham finished 12th for me.
12th for me, it's Bournemouth. I think they've got a great side. They've obviously got Callum Wilson, who I think Chelsea wanted him at a moment in time. Other players like Josh King, Ryan Fraser. They've also just recently brought in Harry Wilson on loan from Liverpool, who played well at Derby last year. Yeah, they've got some key players like that. Another typical mid-table side, but I still feel like they will cause trouble, so that's why I put them 12th.
11th for me, I've gone with Villa. I think that they'll finish the best out of 3 promoted clubs, although they finished the lowest in the Championship. But I think they've got some brilliant players. Obviously Jack Grealish, Ezri Konsa, who they signed from Brentford, Conor Hourihane, John McGinn, players like that. They've got brilliant players, a brilliant manager in Dean Smith as well. They've got Premier League experience and they're a massive club, so that's why Aston Villa finished 11th for me.
11th for me, I put Crystal Palace. Another team who played decent last year, another mid-table side. Obviously there are rumours about Wilfried Zaha maybe leaving. I know he wants a transfer request out of the club, but I think if Palace did hold on to him, I think they would finish 11th, but I don't really feel confident they'll finish there now. But yeah, I just think they'll finish mid-table anyway, so yeah.
10th for me, I've got my Palace. Obviously, as you said, Wilfried Zaha could be on his way out to Everton, and they signed Jordan Ayew off Swansea permanently now. He's a good player. They still got Patrick Van Aanholt, Jeffrey Schlupp, Christian Benteke, so players like that. But Roy Hodgson, a brilliant manager, so I believe 10th is a good finish for Palace.
10th for Put Villa. Like you said, newly promoted side. Yeah, the key players that you named, Jack Grealish, John McGinn, Ezri Konsa, who signed in. Yeah, they do have Premier League quality, and I feel like they'll do like what Newcastle did when they came up for the Championship and they finished mid-table. I think they'll do something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aston Villa, they'll cause problems definitely. You never know what they'll bring back to the Premier League. And I think I heard a rumour of maybe Jack Grealish actually maybe leaving, or maybe only having one more season at Villa.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Villa are a really good side, but I think they'll just finish 10th for me.
9th, I've gone with Everton, another big club. They've got good quality in their squad. They've got players like Gylfi Sigurdsson, used to play for us, obviously, possibly Zaha now, Theo Walcott, Schneiderlin, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, players like that, and they got a good manager as well. So I do believe that Everton will finish 9th, possibly higher.
9th for me, I put Leicester. Obviously, last season I think they had a really good season, and that was a really good year for them. They got Brendan Rodgers, who's a good manager, obviously former Swans, Celtic and Liverpool manager. So he's obviously been in the Premier League before and he's got a bit of experience. You've got players like Jamie Vardy who can bring something to a game. Obviously Yuri Tielemans, a good midfielder. Yeah, he's got key players like that, Kasper Schmeichel in goal. So yeah, they should cause a bit of trouble to the top teams. And yeah, they're normally like a team which just finish outside of the top 6, so I think they'll finish 9th.
This has been 14 minutes so far, isn't it? Wait, has it?
Yeah.
Luke, yeah. So, where were we? 8th, I put Leicester. So, I think as you said, they got brilliant players. Jamie Vardy, Yuri Tillemans, Kasper Schmeichel, sorry, not Peter Schmeichel. Good players like that. I think they're a good all-round squad. I think they've got a good manager, as you said, Brendan Rodgers. So I do believe that they'll finish 8th, and they'll definitely be challenging for Europa League.
8th, I put Wolves. Obviously, what year they had last year was incredible. I think their manager, I don't know what his name is, but I think he had a great year with Wolves last year. They were unfortunate to go out of the semi-finals of the FA Cup to Watford. I think they were quite unfortunate. But anyway, this season's a brand new year for them, and they've made some great signings like Patrick Cutrone from AC Milan, who's a good striker. I'm sure him and Jimenez will be getting a good few goals each.
Yeah.
They've also brought in Vallejo from Real Madrid, a young Spanish centre-back who could possibly do well. Yeah, they played really well last year. Diego Jota had a class year for them. And I feel like that they will challenge for Europa League. Obviously last year they did beat some of the top 6 teams, and yeah, that's why I think they'll finish 8th.
7th, I've gone with a bit of a shock. I've put Arsenal there. Obviously when I get onto 6th I'll explain why, but I put Arsenal there because I don't think they have as much quality as the 6 teams that are finishing above them, and they do have a good squad. Obviously they got Lacazette, Aubameyang, Ozil, quality players like that, but they just don't gel as a team, and I don't think they have as much quality as the 6 that are going to finish above them. So Arsenal surprisingly finished 7th for me.
I got another surprising one too. I put Chelsea at 7th because obviously everyone knows the transfer of Hazard has gone to Madrid, which was really big for them. They obviously got a decent amount of money for him, but I feel like they just haven't made any signings really. They did have Higuain, but obviously he was only a loan move. But yeah, I just feel like Chelsea, I know a lot of people will be debating on this, but this is just my opinion, so just don't, take it seriously. Yeah, I just feel like Chelsea won't really challenge this year, and I just feel like they'll just be hoping for Europa League, to be honest, so that's why I think they'll finish 7th.
Yeah. 6th for me, I've gone with Wolves. Obviously they've got a brilliant manager, Nuno Espirito Santo. They've got good players like Jimenez, Giammattino, Patricio, Matt Doherty, Connor Cody, players like that. So I think that they'll have a shock this season. I think they could challenge for top 4 because the way they play and the style that the manager plays is brilliant, and I think that they definitely will finish above Arsenal and shock the top 6 or possibly even top 4, so that's why they finished 6th for me.
6th I put Everton, which I think a lot of you will be debating on this, but I think Everton will finish 6th because last year they had a great year. I think Lucas Digne was one of their better players throughout the season. Obviously they got players like Richarlison, Bernard, Andre Gomez, Michael Keane at the back, Pickford in goal, and of course they've made the new signing of Moise Keane from Juventus, who is
brilliant player.
Brilliant player, a great striker. He'll be scoring a good few goals for them this year. Ex-Swans player, obviously Gylfi Sigurdsson as well. And I think they got a good manager behind them as well, which will get them to play really good attacking football, which is probably what they want and what the fans would like as well. So I feel like Everton will definitely challenge this year more than they did last year, so that's why I think they'll finish 6th.
5th and just missing out, I put Chelsea. Obviously they lost Hazard. They've also got a transfer ban as well for having too many players out on loan, but on on the other hand, they've got other good players in, like Mason Mount, obviously on loan, but Lampard brought him back with him. He's a brilliant player. Tammy Abraham's come back from loan, obviously Frank Lampard himself, manager. They've still got some good players like Kante, Jorginho, Azpilicueta, players like that. So they could finish top 4, but I don't see them challenging, as you've said, so that's why they finished 5th.
5th for me, I put Arsenal. Because I think I'll miss out because I feel like they've got a very, very strong attack, but I think their defence is shocking. Obviously they got rid of Koscielny to Bordeaux for about 5 mil. Obviously Koscielny wanted out, and I know a lot of the fans gave him a bit of criticism, which I thought was, debatable really. Yeah, they've obviously got Socrates at the back, but I feel like they'll have no one helping him to defend. Obviously got Leno in goal, who had a decent season last year. They brought in Nicolas Pepe, who I think is a good winger and can play striker as well. Aubameyang obviously got top goal scorer last year. Yeah, Arsenal, like, they are a good side, but sometimes they do bottle it on a few occasions, so that's why I think they'll finish 5th.
Now on to the top 4. 4th I've gone with Spurs. I think they've got a good squad. Obviously they've signed, I believe it's Ndombele, and I think they might be signing Paulo Dybala as well. But Eriksen could be on his way out, but they still got brilliant players like Harry Kane and Dele Alli, players like that, and they'll be wanting to have a good season again after getting into the Champions League final, and we're very unlucky. But they'll want to try and have another great season, so that's why they finished 4th for me.
4th I put Man United. This is a bit of a, another debatable pick for me. But I feel like they'll finish 4th because I feel like United's defence is really strong, as they brought in Harry Maguire to just strengthen up that defence a bit more. With obviously Luke Shaw, Lindelof, Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, which I think is a great defence. Obviously brought in Wan-Bissaka at right back, who is really good. Got a bright future ahead of him. Obviously brought Dan James in from obviously Swansea. Had a great year last year, and I know that he will be doing well for United next season, I'm pretty sure. I know all United fans are hoping for him to still get his first goal. But yeah, he was a cracking player for us last year, so I think he will do well for United. Obviously there are rumours about Lukaku leaving, but I think even if Lukaku did leave, I think United still got some good options anyway for up top.
Yeah.
Obviously like Mason Greenwood, Rashford, maybe Lingard and Martial as well. But yeah, I think United will definitely be trying this year, and obviously Solskjaer wants them to play the way that they used to, like under Ferguson. So I feel like United will definitely challenge this year, and that's why I put them 4th.
I've gone with United at 3rd. Controversial, but we have made some brilliant signings. Obviously Harry Maguire, world record defender now, 80 million. I think he's a good defender. We have got a good back line now as well, with also the signing of Wan-Bissaka. It's crazy how good Wan-Bissaka is. I don't think I've seen him miss time a tackle. He pretty much nails every tackle spot on. So the 2 great defenders we've got. We've also brought in Daniel James from Swansea, Rapid. He's done pretty well in pre-season as well. Just needs to get his first goal, but give him confidence and he'll be playing well. And obviously we still got good attacking options as well, but I think we need another midfielder. Hopefully Bruno Fernandes will join, but it's not looking very likely with 24 hours left of the transfer window. But if we can bring in another midfielder, I think it'll be good to link up with McTominay and Pogba. But United finished 3rd for me.
3rd I put Spurs. Obviously we did switch Spurs and United around. But I think Spurs will have a great season this year. Because obviously got a great striker in Harry Kane, Son Heung-min, or Heung-min Son, whichever you'd like to say it. Obviously got Eriksen and Dele Alli in behind. Got great midfielders. Obviously there were rumours of Eriksen going out and leaving, but I feel like he will probably stay, in my opinion. Also got other decent players like Moussa Sissoko. I think he had a decent season last year. Obviously they got a good defence as well. Obviously they got rid of Kieran Trippier to Atletico Madrid. which was a decent signing for them. But yeah, Tottenham got a decent amount of money for him, and obviously brought in Don Bailey, who's a good midfielder, French international. But yeah, I think Spurs will do really well. I think they will do better than Arsenal, Chelsea and United, and the rest of the other teams outside the top 6. And yeah, that's why I put them third.
Second, I go with Liverpool. Obviously, they won the Champions League, and to be fair to them, finish on 97 points and still finish second. That's quite hard to take, and I think that they'll challenge City again this year. But I don't think they've actually made any signings, have they? But they've still got a good squad. Obviously, Van Dijk, Salah, and Mane, the notable players. And I think that Jurgen Klopp's a brilliant manager and could challenge City this year even more than they did last year. And yeah, so Liverpool finished second for me.
Second, I also put Liverpool because obviously they've never won the league, and I'm not sure much people would want them to unless they're a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Liverpool, they are a decent side, as everyone knows. Obviously Klopp has done really well with them, got them playing some good football. It's unbelievable how much they've actually improved as a team. Obviously got Van Dijk at the back, which is just solid. Probably one of the best defenders in the league at this moment in time. Obviously Mane had a class season last year. They obviously brought in Adrian. I don't know why. I think it's just like a replacement, as they got rid of Mignolet. Yeah, as probably like a backup keeper. But yeah, Liverpool, strong side.
Like the Lee Grant thing.
Yeah. And Rob Green to Chelsea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Liverpool, they are a strong side. It won't surprise me if they do win the league, but I just feel like, City, they win it nearly every year now, so yeah, I just think Liverpool finish second.
First, I've gone with Man City. I think they'll be the champions of the Premier League 3 times in a row. I think it could go on even longer than that, 5 years, maybe even 10, because the squad they've got, if they keep hold of Pep Guardiola, who's a brilliant manager, I think they'll really go somewhere with it. They've got players such as Kevin De Bruyne, Sergio Aguero, David Silva, who's leaving at the end of the season. They've obviously lost Vincent Kompany, but that doesn't matter because they've got other good defenders like Laporte, Otamendi, John Stones, players like that. I think they'll be wanting to go for the quadruple this season, just missing out on the Champions League, but won the domestic treble last season. I think that they'll probably win. I reckon they'll win 2 trophies again this season. I reckon they'll win the FA Cup and the Premier League, but I don't think they'll win the Champions League. I think they'll just miss out on again. And for some reason, I think there'll be a shock in the Carabao Cup, but I don't think they'll win it. But City come first for me.
Yeah, obviously first to me is Man City as well. They do have a strong side now. They obviously brought in Angelino from PSV, I think, Spanish left back. They also brought in Rodri to strengthen up their midfield a bit more, even though they got players like De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, players like that. Obviously they've managed to keep on to Aguero, who's just an incredible striker, and I think he's really helped out City a lot, like to help them get better, and he's just been really incredible for them. Guardiola, a lot of you could debate on this, but I think in my opinion he's probably one of the best managers, like right now.
Yeah.
Obviously in the world I'd say it would be Sir Alex Ferguson, but right now I would say Pep Guardiola. Yeah, they've still got Sterling, which is good.
I forgot to mention him. He had a great season.
Yeah. Also, they might be getting rid of Leroy Sané to Bayern Munich, because I think they're really interested in him. But I think even if he stays, he's a quality player. Bernardo Silva had a great year last year. As you said, they got rid of Vincent Kompany, which I'm obviously glad, because I think Vincent Kompany, he did really well for City in his career there, and now obviously he's gone back to Belgium.
Yeah.
So obviously great for him. And yeah, I think City are just going to conquer Europe again, and yeah, they'll probably break a few people's hearts, but that's just typical City at the end of the day. So yeah, I think they'll finish top of the league.
Yeah. I just want to add as well, this player I think will have a brilliant season. Phil Foden, I think he's a brilliant player, got lots of talent, quality, got a lot of potential. Pep Guardiola's even said he's the most talented player he's ever seen, and that's quite special because obviously the players that Guardiola's coached. But yeah, I think Phil Foden will have a brilliant season. So thanks for watching. This obviously has been a long one, as I've mentioned during the video, but I hope you can watch it all the way through. It would be appreciated if you can, and please subscribe because we're trying to get to 300 by September. So thanks for watching.
Cheers.